Morning folks, welcome again to Ladyfield Farm, which is 7 acres in the West Highlands of Scotland. Me and my partner Lindsay, we moved up here last summer from Essex, where we'd lived all of our lives so far anyway. But we're here now, and just to give you a bit of context, we live in a caravan. We don't have a house. We do have a barn, which is where I am now, and it's a big old stone byre. And we have planning permission to convert it into a 2-bedroom dwelling, along with a garage and a workshop. And as well as that, we also have permission to build a new house, all of which we should be doing ourselves. A genuine self-build. Oh, hole in that. And we're slowly pulling the pieces together, and we've been here what, 7 or 8 months now, and we've got our caravan in, we've got things moved around, we've had the meadow cut, we've done all sorts of work, just preparatory work. We've got our polytunnels up where we're going to grow food, and so things are slowly taking shape. And a couple of days ago we had a meeting with our architect to discuss what we're going to do with the barn, because it's the barn that we're going to work on first and do the conversion work on it. So we had a meeting with the architect and we went over the drawings. We're making some changes to the original drawings, and one of the things, there's a different system in Scotland to England. In England, if I was doing this work, I would get the drawings done and put the plans in, and then you can do what's called a building notice, where you fill in a form and you tell the council, the local council, that you're going to be starting work in 48 hours. You could have to give them 48 hours notice, and then the building inspector will come and see you, and then you work through the job with the building inspector. Up here in Scotland it's a bit different. You have to get what they call a building warrant, which means that every detail of the build has to be agreed in advance. All the structural design, size of timbers, things like that, all of the materials that are going to be used. So in our case, we're putting slate on the roof, Spanish slate. So all of that's got to be agreed in advance, and that takes quite a long time. So we have to work on those drawings before we can get the building warrant. So that's what we were discussing with the architect the other day. But there are, as part of our planning permission, there are conditions, and some of the conditions have to be fulfilled or discharged, however they like to call it, before you can even start the work. And one of the really important ones for this property is where our track meets the main road. You have to have what they call a visibility splay, which means that you have to be able to see 160 metres in each direction. When you're sitting in your car on the driveway, you have to be able to see 160 metres each way down the road. In our case, to the north, no problem, it's just a straight road, and the vegetation is not too bad. We can just trim it where we need to. But to the south, the road kind of goes a bit downhill and then it bends round to the left. So there's quite a lot of work to be done there to create that visibility for 160 metres. I've already done a lot of the work, but I'm going to finish it off today. I've done about 100 metres. I've got the last 60 metres to go, so there's trees to be cut back. And quite a lot of the trees that I cut earlier in the year need bucking and carting away. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'm just refueling the chainsaws and oiling them up, ready to go. I'll take some spare stuff down the road with me and try and get another thing ticked off the list so that we can look forward to getting started on the build. So I'll take you along for the ride. I've just got down to where I've got to do the visibility displays. You can see the sign just up there, probably the entrance. You can see the sign, a couple of wheelie bins. That's where the driveway is, and at the other end, you can see the other end of the visibility display is where that angled post comes out of that telegraph pole. Just about there. Yeah. So that's so this is the vegetation we've got to clear in order to create a clear line of sight from that point all the way back to the bins up there, our driveway. So it's quite a length. Just notice the sheep in the field behind me think that I'm their farmer. Brian, he comes around here on a red quad. So they've all come bleating down at the bottom of the hill thinking they're going to get something, I think. Not today, chaps. You see I've thrown a lot of this wood down the bank, which is down back towards our track. This bit of land we don't own, belongs to the Duke of Argyll, and we had to, before we bought the property, we had to have a servitude right added to our deed, our title deed, to give us permission in perpetuity to get on this land to cut the trees, because if we can't maintain the visibility displays, then we're in breach of planning, and because it's not our land, we can't just go on and do what we want. So we had to get permission to do that. So there's now we now have the legal right in perpetuity to come onto this bit of ground and cut these trees. So I'm throwing most of it down the bank, and I'll go down to my track and I'll be able to collect that in my trailer. And most of it, a lot of it, I mean, it's great. It's sort of 2 and 3 inch thick. Some of it's 4 or 5. Great for burning on our log burners. And all the small brushy type stuff, which I'll show you. Yeah, all this kind of brush, thin stuff. It's all, we keep all of that because we've got a huge pile of it up near the polytunnels, because we're gonna put that all through a wood chipper to mulch all of our paths in our polytunnel and on our vegetable beds. So in between each vegetable bed there'll be a narrow channel which will be a path, and it will be filled with wood chips. So none of this goes to waste. It's a great resource. So one of the chainsaws threw a chain a little while ago, and this one wasn't running properly, so I've just got to adjust a few things, adjust the jets and get it running properly again. And this one chain needs tightening up a touch.
I've cut a whole load more of the splay now. Now this, you can see all the little stumps here that I've cut out, sort of that green edge all the way through there. That's where the trees used to come to, all the way along. I've taken a huge amount out of this first section. So that blue bin up there, you can see it beyond the quad, in full magnification, so it's all a bit juddery. That is the point that we've got to be able to see. Now I'm 160 metres away, but I'm on the other side of the road. If I go back across the road, that blue bin just goes out of sight. Mainly because of the drop in the road, really. Not sure what I can do about that. I'm hoping that's going to be good enough, because you can see the oncoming traffic from 160 metres, if not more. I hope the roads department feel the same way. We'll see. Well, that's that done. I think we've cleared enough. I hope so. When we notify the council that we're going to start the works, they'll come and check that those conditions have been fulfilled. So hopefully there'll be enough. So I've cleared all the wood off the bank down the slope, so I can access it from our track, and then I'll go and cut that up and bring it up the trailer, for some for burning and some for wood chipping. But there were a couple of other things I found. I saw these while I was up at the up cutting the trees. A couple of bits of hazel which are nice and straight, and I'm going to use them because I'll leave them to dry. But my oldest sister Lois, she had fairly major surgery on her back this around Christmas time, and so she's walking very gingerly with a couple of poles at the moment. So I said I'd make her a couple. So I'm gonna make her a couple like this with a bit of antler, deer antler, and nice tall poles. Be a bit more stylish than the walking poles that she's currently using. So nice straight hazel for that. I'm just going to give these a clean up, refuel them and re-oil them, so they're ready for next time. And thanks for watching.